Hey guys, John here, and I'm in France at Castorama, one of the biggest hardware stores in France, owned by Kingfisher, on Screwfix and B&Q. They're pretty massive. I'm sure we're going to find some brands in there we recognise, maybe some that we've seen in B&Q, and hopefully some we've never seen before, and some quirky tools. That's the name of the game. Let's go inside, see what we can find. Cool, see a load of Erbauer stuff. Feels like a home from home. But Kingfisher Group, who own Screwfix and B&Q, also own Castorama, so makes sense. Good range of stuff. We'll see if they've got the Erbauer boxes. Loads of power tools though. Here we go, we can see toolboxes. And there's another familiar brand we all know, Magnusson. That's pretty cool. Interesting. There's the Magnusson stacker. We're just looking at that. So that's the exact same as the Husky Connect and the Key to Professional, the old stacker system. Quite new to Magnusson, that is. No toolboxes jumping out at me. They don't have the traditional Erbauer stack that I can see, but I have found a tool aisle. The Erbauer hand tools are good. I think they're going to be extending this range. So then they'll have their Magnusson Budget and then Erbauer Pro. It's cool. It's like a really chunky gauge marking block. Seems strange seeing all the Magnusson. Doesn't feel like I'm in France. It just feels like I'm in B&Q with the Erbauer and the knives, Stanley, Magnusson. You don't see that in B&Q though. You don't see us all stock in B&Q. I'll tell you what, the French all stocks aren't nearly as good. All a bit clumsy. Got to get one though for the collection. I don't think I'm going to get that aluminium one. That is the first item in the basket. Oh no, look at that. An Edding pump. I wonder if they bought the patent from our guy the Marksman. That's a concern, isn't it? An Edding Marksman. Exact same thing. Is it made in the UK? Because obviously the Marksman one's made in the UK. Made in the UK. I'm guessing that's a Marksman out in the wild. So in Britain it is sold as a Marksman, and in Germany it's sold as a Marksman too. But here you've obviously got a rebrand Edding version because you've got a load of other Edding stuff. Edding. So it's not a Marksman, but let's say it's heading in the right direction, in it. Nice to see a bit of Facom. You don't see any Facom in the UK B&Qs, do you? Obviously Facom being a French brand. Not much though, so far I've only seen those two. Facom scissors, and then a Facom universal shear. OutiFrance, a plain de Charon. That's like an old schooler, that's like Ewan Raider. Well, that'll be good to be sure. We'll just chuck that little tenon joint in there and we'll make a nice chair, shall we will. And we'll do that there and we won't use no power tools. Great. I'm sure he'd be happy with a plain de Charon, sure he would.
And from here on out we're going to be working it entirely with hand tools to turn her into a table.
So you don't have this style of Magnusson hammer in the UK, but they've got them here in France, but their preferred hammer type. Yeah, you don't see them in the UK, do you? A big old Magnusson toolbox. Pretty cool. That one, movie tools, with some inserts already in there. And then a smaller one too, you just don't get that. In the UK, I don't think they've got space. Found a sale aisle. Thought, oh, sale, Facom. €53 for a set of folding torx keys, and that's on sale. Crumbs, not on your Nelly. Another tool aisle though. Ended with this section, kendo. Looks like a bit like backhoe on it. Don't see that in the UK. So they have got different stuff, which is nice to see. Into the next tool aisle. Bit of weir. We have a bit of weir in the B&Qs in the UK. The Erbauer range does look pretty similar, but nicely, they've got like equal amounts of Facom, which is nice. And every now and then I keep seeing this little badge. Made in France. So Facom is a French brand, owned by Stanley Black & Decker now, but they are in the B&Q, well, in the Castorama. Oh, it's nice to see a few quirky bits too. So that's nice. A ratcheting Facom screwdriver. Looks like iFixit haven't made it here. They've got Tivoli. Extended Magnusson. I mean, obviously we know we can get these in the UK now. First found one of these in Germany, and then I think they have them in Machine Mart. But here's one with a Magnusson badge. I definitely haven't seen that in the UK because I would have bought it. So they've got some different Magnusson stuff. It's not all the same. Nice to see. A Facom adjustable. Doesn't say where it's made. I'm pretty sure it would have told us if it was made in France. Quite a chunky little thing, that. That's the Facom adjustable. It's a chunky old thing. Quick adjust. Is it quick adjust? Relatively. It's not amazingly quick. Not that quirky though, is it? But it is nice. I do quite like the Facom spanner sets though, and I think the holder's nice. So you get like a full 8-piece spanner set and it's folded up in this, so it takes up a lot less room. I've always liked that. I worked with an engineer who always had a set of these on him, and you can kind of get your hand around it and hold the whole set of spanners in a grip, which is nice. I've got a set of these from Bacco. These are like 8 spanners in 2 pieces, because they're reverse. It's 18mm on that side and then 90mm on the other. They're just like 12-piece ratcheting set, 12-piece spanner. It's the problem when you've got so many tools. I see something quirky and then I already have it. Good to see though, a whole Facom section. They're giving Facom, the French tool brand, a proper bit of a display. That's a quirky looking Facom tool, isn't it? I've never seen a mole grip like that. And funnily enough, I can't see any other mole grips here. Oh, I can actually. That's your traditional mole grip, and that's €3.50. And that is £72.90. It's like 60 quid. Long grip mole grips. But a lot of this Facom stuff, I've been looking at it, and a lot of it is quite standard, although I do like these. They're made in France. I like the spring mechanism. I've got snips out the wazoo. I definitely don't need another pair of snips, but locking pliers that actually look quirky. Look, there's a whole thing going here. So they're a pincer grip mole grip. You've got this kind of wide adjustable jaw. I think that's pretty novel. Something different I've not seen before, so I think we'll get that. We're off. We've got one quirky thing. Cable tie cutter. I love the Nipex Cobras. Quality made Nipex. And you've got Facom's own. Oh, they're made in France too. Nice little feel to them. I can see them. We don't have them. They're not down here low level, but look. You always have to look up in these hardware stores. They have got the Erbauer traditional connects with an X on the end stack. So we do inserts for those. If there was one down there I'd have showed you, but I'm not climbing up there. Hey, got one of those. Cool to see that. Same price I reckon as Leroy Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins! There's another Magnusson toolbox you don't see in the UK, look. €249. Just a nice little box, isn't it? Nothing too special about it. Nice nonetheless. There's something from OutiFrance I can use. A pencil with refillable leads. OutiFrance. They're pretty cool, those. Another toolbox. Not seen in the UK. I don't think they ever have roll cabs and stuff like that in B&Q, do they? Big old McAllister jobbo. This one looks like it's just been on the end of the aisle. Just go rooting through the drawer. Oh, it's all stock though. McAllister all stock. I don't think that's for sale, no. Just reading through someone's toolbox. And they left it unlocked. Don't get those in the UK. Just not nip into your local hardware store and get yourself a machete. Oh wow, do some slicing and dicing in my garden with that. Just drill a hole in that as well so you can hang it on a peg. No worries. Scythe. Everything's got a hole drilled in it. Get your scythe here. Replacement secateurs spring. That's funny, isn't it? Look, it's got a bit of everything here in the gardening section. Little schnippers. Schnipping and schnopping. Oh, there we go, look. Found the Erbauer toolbox. It wasn't all the way up high up. It's there. Piles of it. Stacked. Floor to ceiling. A little Facom beanie. This Erbauer stuff looks really good. The thing with it is, they're only just bringing it all in the range. I'm not sure if I've seen the chisels. I know I've seen the screwdrivers and the pliers and stuff, but I feel like an Erbauer tool review is something we're going to have to do. And seeing that the range is clearly expanding because they've got more stuff, I think that's a pretty good pickup. I do like the hammer. I know I've seen that in the UK. I'm not shipping back items I can get over in England. Boa. This is the second cable tie attachment jiggy. Boa. Not seen them before. Got big ones too. I think the little ones are enough. We'll get one of those as well for a look at. That's pretty cool. Multi-position kind of spanner for getting up the back of basins and into awkward slots. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13mm. I'm sure Nero Tools just showed us one of these, but this one is a little bit more in my price point. €14. They've got a Magnusson one too, look. €14 for a Magnusson one. Magnusson one looks like it's got 6 sizes. It's got 5 and a 13 built in, whereas this one has got 6 and a 13 built in. Nice to see a Magnusson tool, don't have, and we will be doing some sort of Magnusson toolkit, so we'll get that as well. So I've had a good look through the tool aisles. Lots of stuff I recognise from B&Q, obviously because it's owned by Kingfisher Group. You've got all the Magnusson stuff that you'd have in B&Q. Loads of Erbauer. Looks like the Erbauer range is only growing though, because I've seen a few bits I've not seen in my local B&Q. So it does look like it's growing. All of the screwdrivers you can see behind me here we've got in the UK though, so I won't buy any of those. But they've got a lot of Facom. Facom is pricey stuff, but it's good to see it because it shows that every store is a bit different. And obviously Facom being a French brand, it's nice that they've got that represented. I've found about 3 or 4 cool bits so far. I'm gonna keep looking. The ultimate bug killing. Now there is a lot of mosquitoes in France, but do we need one called Luciper? That is crazy, isn't it? Torch in it so you can really light it up. That's funny, isn't it? Oh, and it's got like a rechargeable handle. So you can keep the handle recharging. You can kind of see. Luciper, what a thing. That's a little tiny electric shocking zapper. I mean, to be fair, when you get to that point, do you need to electric shock it as well as? I mean, if you're whacking a fly, it's going to die, innit? You need to splat it and electrocute it. I've never seen a little whacking paddle, a little fly swat that's electrified. That's pretty cool. Well, I'd say cool. I'd say that's pretty unnecessary. The idea of this one is you can slowly go up to them, don't you? And like shock them. It's a tool. Don't think I need one though. I quite like this thing. It's like an unroll of Velcro and you've got it on little spools. Oh, there's a good one. One in black. I think that is very, very clever. ID scratch, not seen that before. That is a simple little item that I think we can get. Oh, faux daddy! As a faux daddy.
Ce tapis à poils longs et cet immense canapé ne résiste pas à la puissance de Faux Daddy.
Ah, Faux Daddy.
Impossible à faire avec un rouleau anti-poil.
Betty
Son
boy.
secret, une nouvelle technologie microsonique qui soulève les poils incrustés pour les déloger plus
Faux
facilement.
Daddy, ah la la. Sacre bleu. Fur everywhere. You need a Faux Daddy. What have we got here? It's a scraper with an angle. Oh, that's interesting. Always love a good multi-tool. Folding spatula. It's not a Purdy, it's an Ocai. That is Ocai for now, that one. Ocai for now. Scottish brand? No, I have no idea. Ocai the new. We got Ocai the new. Ocai the new, Ocai the new. With a bulldog. Wonder if Ocai is something to do with a bulldog. The great French bulldog, Ocai. And it's a product of France. That one isn't. The scrapers say Fabrique of France. I think we'll get the folding scraper. We always like to extend the multi-tool collection. And then that is a wallpaper scraper. Something about it holds blades in the handle, tilting head. Interesting. Some would say quirky. I'm not sure if we had this stacker rolling dolly. Another little item. This is why you've got to check every part. We're in the car parts now. Have you ever seen one of these? What is it? Well, it's one of these. What is it? It's one of them, but a left hand. Reminds me of Tommy Cooper. What's one of them? It's one of them on the other side. What's this? It's one of those. But it folds. I like that. I think it's important to have a bit of a toolkit in your car, but a normal one of these is a bit awkward, of an awkward shape. You press the button, it feels pretty heavy duty too, as if it's not just gonna snap back on you. Press the button in and then you can turn it back flat again, which I like. I think that is a cool little item. And then I think also, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get one of these. And if you don't know what these are, this is a very quick way to repair a puncture. Tubeless tyre repair. I'll show you how you do that. If I get a puncture, but maybe I won't. But I'm away with family and my brother-in-law, first day in his rent-a-car, and there was a nail, went in his wheel, flattened his tyre. Sad times. He got it fixed though, but this would have fixed it. So I'm gonna get one. Interesting, little hand drills. This store is set up for my boy Eowyn. Like little different size reamers or bradawls. Eowyn. Eoghan Quig. There's a reference. Who remembers Eoghan Quig? Picture on the screen. That's a pretty cool kit, isn't it? Starter kit, €450 for 3 batteries and a double charger. And you get hammer drill, grinder, combi drill and a torch. Erbauer, getting on it. Got a bit of Opinel, Bosch. Similar to the UK actually when I look at the range. It feels like it's got about a similar amount. I love these. Universal trimmer.
dommage involontaire sur vos arbres et plantations. Vous
Love the
avez
accent.
maintenant l'outil de précision idéal pour un travail maîtrisé. Sa tête est composée de dentelures émoussées pour
Wipe
couper
out
toutes les mauvaises
absolutely
herbes de façon
anything.
nette et propre, même
All
des plantes
life.
invasives comme du lierre. Inutile
One
de
size
vous dire
fits
que comme
all.
tête de débroussailleuse
Forget putting a string on
professionnelle,
your trimmer.
grâce à sa robustesse,
Put this chunk of metal on it.
faites des économies en temps et en argent.
Pray you don't hit your ankles.
Une seule tête suffit pour tout débroussailler. La tête
And if that's not drastic enough,
débroussailleuse,
put this thing on.
l'accessoire
Destroy anything it touches.
pour tous les jardins.
Look at that. Do, 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 do. The last interesting thing I can see, right by the till, a wooden knife. Just about to leave, I got that. Right, let's get back to the UK and have a look through it. Right, so I'm fresh back from France and Castorama. What a shop Castorama is. Lots of recognisable tools and brands in Castorama. I mentioned it a few times in the shop. They're owned by Kingfisher Group that owns B&Q. So I did expect to see brands that are recognised and tools that are recognised. Fear not, I did find a full bag of goodies that are either new, quirky or interesting. And in this video, we've got a top 10 quirky pickups from Castorama, including a couple of things that weren't from the shop. I've got one absolute belter that I got from a French market and I just had to include it. Another standout was the crepe machine in Ocai. I went from Castorama to get some lunch and they had this little automatic crepe machine, literally going back and forth making like 12, 14-inch crepe pizza base things. Massive, really tasty, delicious they were. That was a highlight. If you're ever in France, near a store called Ocai, go and try and find that automatic crepe machine because that was an absolute winner. And to be fair, that was my pudding because I did have a sandwich, quite dry, but not bad. Don't know if I'd trust a sandwich out of a vending machine in the UK, but the French one was pretty good. So I ended up with a full bag of tools and interesting bits to show you. I've got an easy top 10 of quirky bits. There's some absolute belters in here. Now, you know how we do it on this channel. We always get the tools, organise them in a toolbox. But fortunately, as Kingfisher Group own Castorama and B&Q, there's a lot of crossover, not just with the brands, but also with the toolboxes. So I didn't have to buy them in France. I was able to buy them in the UK. So the two toolboxes we've got are actually both the exact same box with different badges. So we've looked at these a few times on the channel. This one's called the Magnusson Sight System, and it's been recently updated to the Erbauer Connect system. Now, these aren't the only two boxes that look the exact same. There's a few versions, same box, different badge, and you can go and watch a full video talking about all the different variations on our new channel, What Toolbox. We'll put a link up here, and you'll be interested to see the price variation. Same box, different badge, and the price changes depending which brand you go for. And also, a few of these systems have got different features, maybe different little quirks, different accessories that go with them. Go and check out that video. I'm sure you're going to love it, and make sure you subscribe to What Toolbox while you're over there. And the Erbauer Connect is the better looking of the two. I really like the Erbauer branding and the Erbauer tools. They're really improving. And there's a few other boxes, namely, the Erbauer Connect has the organizer. Now, this box we haven't looked at on the channel before, and needless to say, we have an insert for this box. Every toolbox on the market now has got a shadow foam insert, and these inserts fit perfectly inside. As you can see with this one, it's got all the notches, all the radiuses cut into it, so it fits perfectly inside the box. As we go through the tools, I'll be doing a layout, and then at the end, I'll show you how easy it is to cut shadow foam, and we'll get all of these tools organized. So let's clear the table and get into my top 10 tools from Castorama, starting with number 10. So number 10 is a strong start. We're starting with a brand called OutiFrance. Have you heard of OutiFrance? I thought nothing says French tools like OutiFrance. They had a few different products, but this is like an automatic pencil. There are a few different brands of this, but it was a good price. And there's also a packet of refills. It's like Tracer, isn't it? It's literally, I wonder if it's made by Tracer. Quite possibly, but it certainly looks like that. It's like an extending mechanical pencil with a little packet of refills. And I liked it so much, I bought 5 of them. I thought that would be a lovely little giveaway. An automatic mechanical pencil in a lovely little kind of holder. It's like a Tracer, but it's OutiFrance. It's screaming French tools, isn't it? So that is number 10. I like that, and it doesn't stop there. I've also got a Zollstock. You know, wherever I go, I'm looking for Zollstocks to add to the collection. This is a Fisher Darracq 2 meter. Not particularly good. It's not one of the better ones I've seen, but, you know, if I'm seeing a Zollstock, I've got to add it to the collection. I'm on 48 now, all cut and organised perfectly in shadow foam, and this will be the start of a new draw. So this is the 49th. I didn't buy 5 of these because I wasn't particularly impressed with it, so I thought, we can go with 5 Shadow Foam Zollstocks. These are much better. They're a more compact, sturdy feeling Zollstock, and the brand's a little bit better. This doesn't even have a brand written on it. I prefer it when they say like Fisher Darricks and printed, and it goes in the drawer nicely. So I thought we won't get 5 of those. We've got Shadow Foam Zollstocks. If you want one of these, you can get them from the website. They're on the merch page. They also come free with our starter kits at the minute. So if you're thinking about getting your tools organized in Shadow Foam and you don't know where to start with a starter kit. We'll put a link in the description. You get a pack of big sheets, blank sheets, you can cut down to any size, and you get a cutting kit and a free Zollstock. So that's one way to get a Zollstock. The other way to get a Zollstock is drop a comment below this video and you might win one in these little giveaway bundles. So all you've got to do is go down below this video, get involved in the chat about tools below this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and you'll be entered into the giveaway. We do giveaways all the time, so don't miss out. Make sure you get involved. That's number 10. Let me show you number 9. In number 9 is a multifunction tool by the brand of Ocai. And it's from France, but it sounds Scottish, doesn't it? Ocai. And it's got a little, is that French bulldog or a British bulldog on the logo? Ocai the new. See you, Jimmy. Whenever I see a multifunction tool, I've got to grab it. This one, apparently it's a bit lame. It says it on the packaging, so I don't know what that means in French, but it's saying lame pliable. So that was intriguing. Got a few features here. One of the features is a reboucher. So I can only assume that your hammer, this is for bouching. If you need to give something a good old bouching, you go and get yourself your hammer. What do you do if you want to do some rebouching? The Ocai. That is what... This is the old reboucher, and it's actually got a little pin nailer on the back, and it's very similar to a tool I already had, which is the Purdy multi-scraper. Now the multi-scraper has got a few other features to it, and I'd say is a bit better than this thing, but you know, this thing is a good value, you know, option, and I like a folding scraper because, you know, it's handy to have it. It's a bit smaller. Also puts me in mind of this little classic we got from Germany. Let me know in the comments if you remember where I found this little beauty and how much it cost. But this is a multi-tool, folding tool. Usually they have a pair of pliers in, don't they? Well, this one had a scraper, and I think that was €6. But let me know in the comments if you remember watching the video where I found this thing. But yeah, Ocai the new, few intriguing things about it. Pretty solid. When it folds out, it does lock in really nicely. And the grip, I'd say, is a lot more comfortable than the Purdy. This grip's a little bit chunky, a bit weird in the hand. But this one, just the job. So that is the Ocai the new. That's number 9. Let me show you number 8. Number 8 on the list is a brand you'll recognise, and that is Erbauer, one of the Kingfisher brands. They don't just make the toolboxes, they also have a full lineup of tools, which is growing and improving. I think the new Erbauer stuff is really, really good, really quality items. Now, I was looking for something that I'd not seen in the UK, and I'd not seen the Chisel Set, but that was in my local Northwich B&Q store. So let me know, these might be available in the UK by now. This was a few weeks ago as well, I was in Castorama. But I just thought, if we ever do a full Erbauer tool panel, or we look at their new stuff, because the new Erbauer stuff does look really good, I wanted something that, you know, maybe you couldn't get in the UK. So these chisels look pretty cool. They come in a little wallet, and it's a nice amount of chisels, really, this. 3-piece chisel set is probably going to be all you need, really, unless you're like a professional carpenter. You can usually get away with one chisel, and a 25mm will do most things. But the idea that you've got a couple of other sizes, and you've got a small one, which can also be handy, that's 12mm. Yeah, the handles are really, really nice. These are really nice through-tang chisels, nice and solid, nice and sharp. They just look mint then. That is a really cool little set. I'm really impressed with the Erbauer stuff. It looks really good. I was having a look at the pliers last time I was in B&Q, and I do think a full Erbauer toolkit would be a nice little video, having a look at all their new stuff. But it would be nice to get the full lineup of the new Erbauer tools, have a proper look at them in detail. So maybe that's a future video. Let me know in the comments if you've bought any of the new Erbauer stuff, what are your thoughts on it. If there's any highlights, these are definitely a belter. I really like them already. They feel really solid, the through-tang, the quality of them, they're just really smart, them. So I'm glad we picked those up. That is the only bit of Erbauer we picked up, to be fair, and it could have gone higher on the list. Now I've seen the quality of them, but obviously there's nothing too unusual about chisels. So that's number 8. Let me show you number 7. So number 7 is a little quirky pickup I got from right near the tills as I was leaving, and it's a classic 80mm snap-off craft knife, but fully made of wood. Not fully made of wood. Partially made of wood. It's kind of got like a metal holder for the blade itself, but the handle is all made out of, it doesn't say what type of wood. It says Monch Boys. So a bit of Monchy Boys has gone into this, but I just thought that is really, really intriguing that there's a brand out there, Denujere, just an unusual little thing. Wasn't very much money, and you know, it's interesting to see someone out there has started making some classic hand tools in wood. And if you're interested in this tool, I've got a whole video on sustainable tools, loads of wooden handle tools, some tools made out of vegetable oil. You can go and click the link and watch that video here. And I went riding around on a bike on that one, and there's a whole funny story about the sponsor, and the segment that we sent to them was an absolute quality bit of It still makes me laugh now. We sent them a bike-sponsored segment where the whole file corrupted, and I ended up saying just the job that about 20 times in the segment, and it was hilarious. I wish we posted it now, but we maybe put a little sneak peek of it here. Just the job this! Just coming up to Boris's Hill, and you only have to touch the pedals. Just the job this! There we go. That is the ultimate test. This is probably the steepest hill I've been up yet. Just the ticket, just the job this. That is amazing. Turbo Plus mode for the win. So that's the Denujere knife, that's number 7. Let me show you number 6. Number 6 on the list is a tool I've seen before, I've never used, and it was highly recommended by the True Blue Travellers, and that is the Tubeless tyre repair kit. Now, I've never had to use one of these kits, but I've seen them used, and it is pretty incredible that just this one small pack of tools can get you out of absolute mither if you get a popped tyre. So we might even have a clip of John showing me this tool when we made the travelling toolkit for them. We went down and put a full toolkit together with them and organised some drawers in the camper van, and he was telling me about this tool that he had in his toolkit.
So I don't know if you know what these are.
You know what? I've seen when I've had a tyre puncture repaired.
Absolutely brilliant these are. So people don't really recommend them for bikes, cars and things like that, or they're like an emergency, but I've run these in loads of different tyres for months and months, and they've never let me down. So you just pierce the tyre, whether if you get a screw, you pull the screw out, you pierce it with that, you put one of them wax strips in, lasts for, well, I've had it about 30,000 miles still going strong. Yeah. So I definitely want one of them in the kit anyway.
So hopefully you can see why this is a pretty cool pickup. The plan for this is to put it in a car toolkit, some sort of like ultimate compact, get out of jail, fix your car yourself, emergency. Emergency gets a lot of keywords there. Into an emergency car toolkit, which I've been meaning to do for a long time. And on that subject, this is number 6. Let me show you number 5. So number 5 on the list is not this, but who knows what this is. Pretty much guaranteed everyone watching will know exactly what this is. You have it in your boot, and it's for undoing the wheel lugs or the nuts on your tyre to replace your spare tyre. So if you don't have one of these, you're going to struggle to repair your tyre or to switch out to your spare, but it's really big and awkward. You know, I don't know if you've ever had this problem. You've got your spare tyre underneath your boot mat, and you've got to kind of find somewhere for this to go that doesn't like make the boot mat look ugly, and it's just a bit awkward, isn't it? It's a big old piece of steel, but it's good. You've got to have one of these. I recommend you've always got to have one of these with your jack because you can get your tyres off. Well, this is what I found in Castorama. A folding version, which is just super simple, wasn't expensive, and it seems pretty solid. You press the locking button in the middle and you rotate it, and then essentially you've got the exact same thing as that, but a lot easier to stow away. Like if my boot has got a couple of little pockets down the sides, and I think this is fitting there, and folding down to that size, you can just literally stash it somewhere and forget it. You don't even need to think about it. It's not going to be in your way. It's not going to be rattling around the boot like this thing. And I think that is a real winner. I think that should be in Halfords. That is an easy win for Halfords to put on the shelf, because I think everyone who's getting their boot ready, they're going on a long trip, you go into France, you end up having to buy some sort of breathalyzer, don't you, or headlight adjusters, or a sticker for the back of your car, when that's the thing that's actually going to make a difference. Stuff like this, having an actual means of changing your spare tyre, which can be stowed away. So that was a real little beauty pickup for me. I was really, really pleased to see that, and it just shows you as well that the quirky tools aren't always in the quirky tool aisle. This quirky tool was in the auto parts bit, and I do always look around the whole store to try and see what I can find. And that is number 5. Let me show you number 4. Number 4 on the list is another brand that you'll recognise, and that is Magnusson. So you can see here, Magnusson Toolbox. You see a lot of Magnusson tools in B&Q, and you'll also find a lot of Magnusson tools in Castorama. Now, I was really going through the items, trying to see if there's anything different. Have they got any Magnusson tools that we don't have? Is there anything different about the stuff? And I stumbled across this, a tap spanner set. Now, I second-guessed myself. I thought probably I've seen this in the UK. I've actually trawled Google, and I went to my local store. I can't find this, and maybe that's because we don't need them. But what this is essentially for is to reach up the back of like a sink or a bath to try and get to the nut to tighten the tap or the fixing. And yeah, I haven't seen one like it. So it's got different sizes. You've got 13mm built in, and then 6 other little nuts. It wasn't very expensive, and they did have a couple of versions of this. I think this was the best value. I went through them all, and this was the best value for money version. But yeah, bit of a question for the plumbers really. Maybe we don't have this in the UK because we don't need it, and our taps don't have the same nut or the same fixing, and you don't need them, but it looks like it was kind of put together as a product for the UK market because it is in English. It says Tap Spanner Set, and on the back includes jointed handle, multiple sockets, fits most brands of monoblock bolts, made in China. It's all in English first, but like I say, I've not seen that in the UK, so let me know. A tap set, it looks like a good idea to me. I think if you were trying to reach up the back of a bath, that is a nice cheap kit. We looked at a set from Nerad Tools when we were at the installer show. It's like 300-400 quid for something that was solving a similar problem but better. The Nerad kit was next level and I loved it. They also had telescopic like extension pieces as well. That was really cool. But this is like a cheap and cheerful version of the same thing. So yeah, a bit of a miss that they don't have this in the UK, or maybe they do. Let me know in the comments. But I thought pretty quirky, pretty interesting. That is my number 4 pick. We're into the top 3. Let me show you number 3. Number 3, and we're back to Ocai for new, and that is another multifunction Ocai tool. To be fair though, it's not actually multifunction. This is just a functional, single function, functional tool. It just caught my eye as a bit of an interesting scraper and something that is a little bit of like an easy winner really. It's a bit of an obvious one. I just thought, you know, why don't all scrapers have these 2 features that stood out to me? So this has got 2 features that I think all scrapers should have really, because I like a razor scraper. If you've ever tried stripping wallpaper, you'll know that you can get kind of like a Harris or like a quite good razor scraper. But this one has got like a rotating head, so you can, if you're left-handed or right-handed, you can angle it in a way that makes it a little bit easy for you. But also it's got kind of like a little holster in the handle for blades. And that was one of the main problems. I bought a Harris scraper. The first house we ever bought, we had to renovate it, and it had all wood chip over every wall. And I had a scraper, not as good as this one, to scrape the things. And when it needed a new blade, I'm like, where the heck has that pack of new blades gone? Because that is now just lost in the ether. If they're in the handle, that would have been a lot better. So pretty quirky little thing, nice and solid, and a much better item than this one. This Ocai tool here is pretty cool. Seen it before, but I thought this is a slightly improved take on an existing product, which makes it a real contender for a toolkit. That is going to be a nice addition to my tool set. So I thought definitely deserving of a high place, and I think 3rd is just the trick. So that is Ocai the new in the number 3 spot. Let me show you number 2. So in the number 2 spot is the best of Castorama, and this is a very French brand, and that is Facom, owned now by Stanley Black & Decker, but they still make Facom tools, or some Facom tools, in France. The screwdrivers are a notable one, and I did pick those up in Bricomarche, some French screwdrivers. So you can go and watch my last French tool hunt here if you want to watch that. But this set of mold grips really caught my eye. I saw a couple of versions of this, different brands, but the Facom were the best setup. Have you ever seen a pair of mold grips that look anything like that? I haven't. They really caught my eye as something a bit different. And even though we get Facom in the UK, I've never seen any other brand of mold grips that look like this. So they have the same kind of clamping mechanism, but they can go a lot wider than a normal set of grips. Like, how cool is that? Mold grips usually, they just have a fixed pivot point and then they go wider or narrower. And if you want a bigger clamp, you kind of get another pair of mold grips, you know. I've got a drawer down here of mold grips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs. And they're just going up in size. And they're pretty much all simple. But look at this. This replaces multiple sets of mold grips. Look how wide that goes. That is awesome. And you've still got this kind of like little adjuster on the side to go even wider or kind of clamp really tightly. So what a cool tool that is. And this one is made in France. Really, really smart little thing. And I know I'm going to be adding this to my toolkit because I just think that is a much more useful set of mold grips. That is literally such a cool pickup. So it's a bit of an expensive one, this. I can't remember the exact price on it, but I remember wincing when I saw the number. But I thought I had to pick it up to kind of bring it back, show you guys, and get it in my toolkit, really. Improve my toolkit with it. So that is number 2, and it is a real winner for me. Could have been number 1, to be honest. That could have been my favourite tool from my French tool trip this time. But I did find something else that pipped it to the post, and that actually wasn't from Castorama. So it's a bit of a sneak in. But that's number 2. Let me show you my number 1 pick from Castorama, kind of. So my number 1 pick is in this little bag here, and it wasn't from Castorama, but it was from a market not far from Castorama. So I'm linking it in. I can't make a full video about the market in France. And to be fair, they do sell this brand, Opinel, in a few different places. This is an Opinel classic knife, folding knife. Usually you might have seen them with a wooden handle, and I was going to pick up a standard wooden handle model, and they had some absolutely beastie versions of this thing, but this one really caught my eye being a multi-tool. It's a bit more my speed, really. We've got a 1/4 inch bit holder on this end here, and then you can put 2 1/4 inch bits either side, and then you've got the classic kind of twist lock knife. Now it's a bit of a borderline knife, this, in the UK. You can have it if you've got a reason to have it. locking knives are illegal. You can't just walk around with a locking knife. But if you're using one for work or in a camping kit, you can have one. So that's why I thought it was deserving of a place on my #1 pick of French tools and French-made tools. You know, an Opinel knife I thought was a really cool one. Never seen an Opinel knife with a bit driver built in, so it kind of fits the thing for me. French-made, quality tool, quirky, because it's got the bit driver, and I think a real good pick for #1. But let me know in the comments what you think. Would you have picked that as your #1 pick? That is my top 10 list, but I've still actually got a few things in this bag. There's 3 other items in here, a couple of big ones. They are the classic Brucie bonus, you know how we do it. But now, I'm going to cut all of this into the shadow foam and get it all organised. So, to do that, first things first, I'm going to have to sort out this layout. Right, so I've got a layout I'm pretty happy with. I've fitted in most things, to be fair, and I'm going to start with one of the chisels so you can see and I can talk you through how easy it is to cut shadow foam. If you want some more videos dedicated on how to get the best results from shadow foam, we'll put a link up here or in the description for all of you guys watching on the TV. You can click the link in the description and go to our new shadow foam channel, because if you didn't see our channel update video, this channel is now John O'Shone, and shadow foam is this channel or in the description, and on that channel is all of our hints and tips, how-to videos, all of the videos about getting the best results and getting the most out of shadow foam is on the shadow foam channel. So check out that if you want to see some more how-to videos. But I'll give you the quick lowdown on how to cut shadow foam, and it's as simple as getting the scalpel out of the cutting kits. This is a cutting kit and they come free with most orders at shadowfoam.com, and it's got everything you need in it to cut the shadow foam and get really great results, and it's all I use in every single one of the videos we do. I always cut the foam with the exact same cutting kit that you guys will get. I've got the anti-cut gloves on, I've got the scalpel with a fresh blade on, and all I do is place an item where I want it to go and then literally trace cut around the item. I'm just using the scalpel like a pencil. I'm not cutting very deep, but I'm making sure to hold the scalpel 90 degrees or like perpendicular to the foam. I'm cutting straight down all the way around, capturing that silhouette as accurately as I can. Once I've met up back at the start, which is just coming up now, I have left a little cap on the chisel just to make sure it stays sharp all the time. So there we go. So I've gone all the way around. I can take the item out of the way, and then I go back around and just cut down deeper. So the blade of the chisel here is not very deep at all, but the handle is quite chunky. So I'm going to make sure I've cut down about 30 mil for the handle and maybe about 15 mil for the blade. And then I will literally just peel out more material from the handle section just so it sits nice and flush and it looks nice and smart. So there we go, that's cut down deep enough. And once you've cut all the way around, I'm going to take this glove off because it's easier to peel without the glove on. You just push your finger down one end and then peel back the foam. You can kind of hook your finger under a seam and you can feel it parting, and that is that first layer there. And then we're going to do the same with the blade of the chisel, and then I might go back, cut it a little bit deeper on the handle because I do want a bit more material out there. So there we go, that is the first item done, and I'm going to use the exact same process to cut all of the tools in, then go back, cut a few finger pulls as well to make it easy to use, and that is how you cut shadow foam. So let me cut all the other items in. There we go, that is all of the cutting done and the finger pulls as well, and I'm pretty happy with that layout. I fitted everything in there nice and snug. I've got nice even gaps between everything, and really, if ever you've wondered how close you can get, that's pretty much the limit there, about 8 mil. That's kind of what I go for. So a nice balanced layout, all the items come out nice and easy, and the insert fits perfectly inside the Erbauer box. And there we go. And I quite like these clear lid organisers for that reason. You can see everything through the lid, which is quite nice. But it doesn't stop there, because I've got a few bonuses left in the bag over here, starting with Luciper.
Luciper?
Not a traditional tool that I'd go for, but definitely caught my interest because it's a beast. You've probably seen these before. It's like an electric shocking bat for flies. But this one is a monster. It's much bigger than anything I've seen before. It's got a light on the front of it and a light on the back of it. Also the handle unscrews, and then you can have a separate torch. So that already is quite nifty. Now I actually used this out in France because where we were staying had mosquitoes absolutely everywhere. And this thing was powerful. And, you know, you can smell when you've hit something. It really stinks the place out as well. So, you know, bit of a bonus on that. But it's effective, I can tell you. It scares you half to death when you hit a fly and it's like... No flies in the unit today to test out, but that was another little quirky pickup. Luciper, what a brand name. You know, they made that and they were like, oh, you know, Lucifer, that's heartening. We'll go for that. So that's my first bonus, and it doesn't stop there. We've also got two other little products that I thought were just interesting, that they were sold in Castorama, not seen them before. And they're both down the cable tie route. This thing is like Velcro on a tape dispenser. It was on like a, as seen on TV, end of the aisle, JML kind of stand. It had a few different colours, and for me, I just thought it was a handy little thing. It's like double-sided, so you've got the soft side there and then the rough hooks on this side, and you can cut off exactly how much you need to tidy up your kit. Actually, you can see it's actually got little tear strips too, so you don't even have to cut it. But obviously you can have it any length you want. That's like the whole point really, isn't it? You can just wrap some cables up and then cut it off just exactly how much you need. But I thought that was really cool. It's called IDEA Scratch. Never seen that before. I saw it actually in a couple of French stores after I bought it from this one. You can tidy up cables really neatly with that and then undo it again, which is why it's much better than cable ties. So that was one thing I thought was quite interesting. And then following the theme, I found Boa. Now Boa is also a cable tie replacement, but this works in a slightly different way, potentially better in the fact that these are reusable in like a multi-purpose sense. So you can wrap cables up with this thing. I've seen something like this in tents. They are in tents, no, but in literally in a tent for tying up guide ropes and stuff. But essentially you pull it through there, lock it on. This one doesn't seem as interesting, to be fair. I think I've seen similar stuff to that before, but I just thought it was interesting that they've got those on the shelf in the store. Some handy little cable ties that are reusable, made by Boa. And I'd pick them up, you know, handy to have those. And next time I'm tidying up cables, I can avoid some cable ties, which is good. So there are my bonuses. That's everything from Castorama. That was my trip around France this time. I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend, if you're in France, stop by Castorama. They've got some interesting stuff. Let me know in the comments what was your top pick. Is there anything that you saw in that kit that you'd like to get? Because, you know, maybe we can bring it over and have it on top-notch tools if it's not already available in the UK. I've not seen any of these before in the UK, but maybe you have. So get down in the comments, drop me a message about any of the tools in this video, and you will be in with a chance to win the little prize bundle over there, the mechanical pencil from OutiFrance and the Zollstock as well. So make sure you don't miss out on that, and while you're down there, click the subscribe. That's the only other thing you've got to do to be entered into the giveaway. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and drop us a comment. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.